Oh, there is no intro music still, Jerry. We have no.
We will work
intro,
on that.
No intro music. We have no introduction. We have nothing yet.
But we did do air guitars 30, 40 years ago on the same stage as U2 performed.
That is true. That is true. We can actually say
yes,
we performed on the same stage.
That's right. That's
same
right.
stage as U2.
Yeah, it was a talent show. We had no talent, and it was not the same night as U2, but it was the same stage.
That's a different story.
Minor detail.
I forgot that part, though. I forgot. Right.
Yeah.
But yes, we are professional.
The tone devs.
The tone devs. We are professional air guitar players. So this is episode 4 of Two Dudes Arguing Life Over Beer.
One of them is deplorable, and one of them is
the libtard. Right. Libtard. So my name is Tim Ryan.
Jerry Ring.
And we, just as a brief introduction, we met originally in 1977. That was a different century.
48 years ago, for those who are not quick with math.
Yeah. We were 15, 16 years old in those days.
Yep.
And the point of bringing this up is that in those days, and for those of you who are 15 or 16 who are interested in us talking,
great.
Yeah.
More power to you.
For those of you who are 15 or 16, you know that there's very little for you to disagree with your friends about. Like, it really
sports maybe, or music.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot. When you are young, some of your life tendencies, your life preferences really haven't been developed yet.
Correct.
So, Jerry and I, from those early years, it was I was sports. There was some sports. There was music.
There were clubs,
right? So a lot of music, and
just having
drinking,
some nice fun,
beer. We partied a lot. We threw a lot of parties ourselves.
We threw some parties, yes.
But then, as life continues on, and we remain friends, but things start to change. You become adults. Life hits you.
You get married. You have children, and get a mortgage, and suddenly you take things more seriously.
Life gets a little bit more difficult.
That's right.
And you develop opinions. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, some people, particularly today, when they disagree with people on their life choices or their philosophies or whatever it is, they cannot be friends with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I vehemently disagree with that. I can disagree and not have to.
And on that, we agree.
Yeah. So Jerry and I frequently argue, right?
Discuss, debate. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'll call it an argument.
And have strong opinions.
Very strong opinions. Disagree with each other. We've been at parties where we got loud.
Right.
But not angry loud, just disagree,
because the friendship supersedes that discussion. First off, while we are arguing and debating, we're actually also learning, which is important. But during a time of crisis, you don't really care what your friend believes in. You need your friend.
Yeah.
Or in a time you want to celebrate, you want your friends there. That's important. That's what counts,
regardless of their deplorable status
or libtard status.
Right. So now,
that's right. If you need to get to the emergency room, don't ask the ambulance driver what is their political view.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
You're absolutely right. So now, one of the things that we found interesting in tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, and RFK Jr. and his health movement. This is a near and dear thing to me. It's very, very important to me as somebody who was once extraordinarily unhealthy. I don't know. I really don't know where we're going to agree or disagree. That's typically how this show works. We're just going to throw out some topics out there and then see where each other goes.
And I think some of the unhealthiness goes back to the past that we both grew up in, and a little bit too much fast food or too much chocolate cakes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And later in life, not enough exercise. So
but from the very beginning, one of the binding things in our friendship was the fact that I got a job as a teenager at McDonald's, and I said to Jerry, "Hey man, they're looking for people. Like, I can get you in. Do you want to work at McDonald's?"
Who doesn't?
And, right, when you're 6,
exactly.
I wasn't even 16 yet.
Yes,
when I got the job.
Yes.
So yeah, I got the job. Jerry got the job, and of course now we're riding with each other, getting there, like whatever it was, and we worked together. So we it was one of those binding things in common.
That's right. That's right. The
For
smell
us.
of grease at the end of night.
I was just discussing today.
Yes.
Somebody was talking about skincare, and I would talk about we would work at McDonald's, even if we worked on the grill, which is the greasiest of the grease.
Yes.
And then we go out that night. We didn't even wash our face. We just went out. Like maybe we combed our hair because the paper hat made our.
And we wonder why the girls wouldn't talk to us.
But McDonald's is part of this discussion in Maha. But the other thing that was very binding in our relationship in those days, and part of our topic, is arguing over beer. One thing that we have never disagreed with, maybe the types of beer, but we still enjoy a cold beer.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm going to turn it over to Jerry, because as you can see in the past, we've had a lot of foreign beers. We've had some American beers. We've tried a lot of different beers, and we try to like just throw each other off with some differences. So this week is Jerry's.
And so this week, since we are still in July, it's almost over, but this is our July 4th episode or 4th of July episode. Independence Day episode. Yeah. I went with the backyard barbecue theme to celebrate Independence Day, hence the flag, and hence the Sam Adams beers. Sam Adams, an American patriot.
American patriot.
As a twist, though, I got the variety pack. Normally, I would not do that because they always throw in something in that variety pack that is different. And we may argue over this. We'll see how we feel. So there's 4 different types. The first one is going to be the Porch Rocker. Sounds like it should be fine.
Which I've had, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, fine beer.
Fine beer. The next one is the unique one. It's the Blueberry Lager. Blueberry Lager. Don't know what that tastes like. Maybe blueberry is a fine complement to beer, but we will find out shortly.
Yeah, do you want to pour a blueberry?
Okay.
Oh, we're doing that later.
No, we'll go with it now. Go with it now. Go with the flow here.
We'll keep the Porch Rocker in the clear cups. Oh, the sound. Just the sound gets me excited.
Wait till you get the smell of this.
Yeah, all right.
It reminds me of something which I will not mention right now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, there was no such thing as blueberry beer in 1977.
So let's go for the blueberry first. All right.
All right.
Okay. Two dudes arguing life
over beer, not blueberry beer necessarily.
not usually. I like blueberry muffins. I like blueberry pie. I like blueberry scones. I'm not so sure about blueberry beer.
All right, I will say this. I don't like fruit in my beer as a general rule. This is very subtle, though. This is not like the cherry wheat is cherry wheat.
Cherry wheat's stronger. It's like you're drinking a Pepsi beer or a Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. This is a little bit more subtle.
It is more subtle, but I think it takes away from the beer flavor. It's almost like a chemical masking of the beer flavor. I miss the beer flavor.
I'll give you that. That's why I don't typically like fruit in my beer.
This would not be one I would buy on its own.
All right, Porch Rocker. My friend Craig loves Porch Rocker.
Okay. And we're almost there. That is being 2 old men on a porch rocking a rocking chair. It should say 2 old dudes. Much better.
But this is Fresca.
Yeah. That's it. This
is Fresca.
Yes. This is like Fresca with head and alcohol.
a little bit too fruity for me.
Yes.
But I don't dislike it.
Right.
I don't dislike. Actually, I don't dislike the blueberry. Whereas I'll pass on a cherry wheat.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pass on a blueberry. Fruit Rocker, a Porch Rocker. I'm going to recommend it.
It might seem a little strange discussing how to make America healthy again while sipping beer. I'm going to say that one of the key facets, requirements to make America healthy again is balance. Is finding the right balance. Not necessarily never having a cookie, but finding the right balance between the good and the bad, or the good and the not so good.
So I've had this conversation with you before. I agree and disagree here because that is true. But if you're unhealthy,
yes,
you are not looking for balance.
Yes.
You are looking to get healthy.
You need to get healthy first before you can rebalance.
Yeah. So now before we get into specifics of the Make America Healthy Again movement and RFK, one of the other differences that I want to just bring out because it means something. This particular episode is also the way we generally dress. right? So when we were in high school, we were all the same.
T-shirts and jeans.
Right? Maybe flannels in the 80s, the flannel shirts in the 80s,
Or corduroys.
corduroys, whatever it was. This is sort of my uniform. And I will admit, when I left the house in shorts, I actually heard my wife's voice. Put on some pants. Would you put on some pants? But
I was going to wear shorts, but I decided that America was not ready for my legs.
Yeah. Well, didn't you say it was Independence Day celebration?
Independence barbecue, but I went with dirty jeans.
But Jerry is generally in a collared shirt and a tie, and
I'm representing.
khakis.
I'm representing the liberal elite. Note the quote, air quotes. Yes, to distinguish our two themes, I go with that to add a costume to the theme.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Can I ask you a question that has nothing to do with this?
Okay.
And this is just an opinion thing. And I don't know why.
Blue goes with my eyes.
This is just something topical today,
Okay.
and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but
Okay.
I'm just curious what your thoughts are. What do you? And I ask because we differ in our libertard and deplorable thinking. What do you think of Stephen Colbert being fired?
That is out of left field. On one hand, it's a private company,
Right.
and the private company has a right to make a decision. On the other hand, it does seem like a deal was made between Paramount and the Sundance. What was the other company? There was a takeover of Paramount, a deal that needed government approval. And
I did not know that.
Yeah. And I can't remember the name, but that deal was approved just after, I believe, Colbert. It was announced that he was not going to get renewed.
No kidding. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So and it could be right. Just it could be financial. It could be
financial. Oh, they had the highest ratings of all the late night shows. But
see, that's where I'm having issue because other people say that it absolutely was not. But I don't. What do I know? I don't know.
What do I know? I will say this: I am concerned about encroachment on our right to free speech.
Yeah.
So if the company, which has a right to broadcast what it wants to broadcast in a democratic society, and it's very important to get different information out there. But if there's going to be now suddenly a standard,
so I'm going to
that concerns me.
Yeah.
If the company made the decision for economic reasons, that the company has a right to do that. But if there's an element in it, there's the sequence of events kind of makes it look like there could be
maybe.
If there was, that would concern me.
All right. So I listen. I really don't know. I didn't find him funny, so I didn't really watch the show either.
I'm in bed by then, by the way.
So, so some of the response to it, I thought, and I'll just use one example, was Jon Stewart, who I typically like, was made a song up cursing. He said "F you," like this is his song. And I'm watching this. I don't know where I saw it. It must have been on YouTube or something. I'm watching this and I'm going, who is he mad at? Like, because we don't know. Like, and who is he saying "F you" to? And I'm not even asking for a response. But it just made me so curious. I really don't even know why I just now thought of that. I guess because it was just one of those things that.
My take would be, and I didn't see that, would be that the response of being disappointed about the show being terminated was a concern that there was political intervention in the decisions of a private company. That in terms of what people can hear. Yeah. And that would concern me.
No, of course.
On either side.
That's legit.
We need the best way to support a democracy is have free and open conversations like we're doing here. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm glad I asked and I'm glad you answered. I'll just leave it at that. Now let's get into MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And I guess I can preface this by sharing that this is a very deep topic to me. I was once unhealthy and sick, and just like the doctors told me, I thought pharmaceutical was the answer. And of course, all pharmaceutical did was make it worse for me. But I didn't know that. I trust doctors. I just, leave it. I just left it be. But what attracts me to RFK's movement and the Make America Healthy Again is that they are not talking about using pharmaceuticals. They are talking about going back to the basics, real food, or at least clean food, healthier food. What strikes me, and this is where I want you to reply to me here, is that where confusion from me comes when RFK will say something like, we need healthier food, we need to change, get rid of the chemicals, we need to get rid of the dyes, we need to get rid of these preservatives because there is evidence that this is causing cancer. But because he went from Democrat to independent and became, I'll just use quotes, a friend of Trump, the libertarians were against him, no matter what he said, and now he's a quack. And I'm like, well, just listen to the guy.
So if I may respond, I'm going to go
Please.
back to, actually, before we get to RFK, I'm going to go back to the phrase, make America healthy again.
Yeah.
Definitely am supportive of making America healthy.
Yeah.
In some respects, we are healthier today than we were in the past. In some, not all.
Yeah.
Some we've gone backwards, and that we definitely have to address, including the ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
But if I was to have a heart attack or have cancer today versus, let's say, 1970 or 1950, I'd rather do it today. Science, technology has made advances that we benefit from. MRIs, PET scans, all kinds of things.
Now, can I address that?
Yep.
Because I don't think you're wrong. Here's the problem, is that today we're going to have more heart attacks. Today, we're going to have more plaque in our arteries. Today, we're going to have more of these issues, and believe that I just have to call the plumber to clean it out, and I'm back.
So I agree with you on that, and I'll take the numbers.
But they couldn't do that then.
Right. I'll take the numbers as a given. Right. And we've made so much progress. It's unfortunate that it's kind of given us freedom license to eat bad.
Yes.
Which is definitely a problem. We made back in the 1950s, we did not have an MRI machine, but we probably ate more vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
Closer to the farm.
Yes.
So that's make America healthy again. Again, I'm not sure, but definitely make America healthy. We've made progress. We want to continue that progress. And I think there are a lot of causes, including the ones you just mentioned. And a number of those causes kind of go back to big business. And we'll talk more about that.
Oh, yeah.
But big business is taking advantage of our sweet tooth. That we all kind of like the greasy stuff.
Just reminded me of something else.
And if they
Sorry,
feed
I'm
our
writing notes.
It's okay. It's okay. They feed our temptation. But RFK Jr.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say from the libertard view, he was very popular.
Go ahead.
But not the blueberry. He was liked in terms of his environmental stance. Still to this day, his Make America Healthy Again PAC supports environmental issues, clean air, clean water. It supports good agriculture. I was just taking a tour of Longwood Gardens, and what they do down there is they combine the row of vegetables with other plants, just regular plants, that helps keep the pests away from the vegetable plants. Gee, that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But
that is not the most profitable way.
Exactly. That's right. He's against corporate too much corporate involvement and how they corrupt things. And keeping government account. Agree on all those. My concern with RFK Jr. is and we're going to get there, but his take on vaccinations. And my concern is that I don't feel he uses or addresses science enough, or appreciates science enough. But we'll get to that more in a second.
So, but would you then, like most libertards, do you assume that he does not understand science, or he disagrees with your science?
Interesting question. He seems to agree with science across many topics: clean air, clean water, agriculture.
So you don't like that science that
there's science that let me say there are science that supports those proposals and those efforts. Totally agree with that. When it comes to vaccination and for example measles, he seems to want to discount a lot of the studies and sciences that are out there. Or promoting getting more information through science, and instead he seems to, from the little I know, and I am not a scientist or a doctor, he seems to rely upon anecdote and his belief or limited science studies that haven't really passed the peer review test.
All right. Yeah, we're vaccines is part of a different segment that we're doing in a little while. So we'll get into more detail about vaccines. And I don't necessarily think
to cut for a break.
I was just about to say,
Okay.
you're getting where I'm going.
After 48 years, I can read his mind.
So I knew that you knew I wanted to go to a break. So vaccines, I'm glad you said it, but we're going to get into more details on that in just a moment. So we're just going to throw it over to Bobby for a couple of words from our sponsor, and same sponsors every week.
Anybody want to come help sponsor us?
Yeah.
Let us know. Give us a call.
Maybe we get a third viewer, and we'll get somebody want to sponsor us.
Mom, do you want to sponsor
us? Commercial in here. Throwing it to you, Bobby. We're trying to make music with our air guitars here. It's not working. It
sounded good to us. Right in tune.
No intro music.
On key.
Bobby keeps telling us to get intro music. We still haven't done it. We'll get there. Jerry, you just said something while we were on break there. Tell me about the two viewers that you're aware of.
Yes. So somebody who I know, who watched some of the prior shows, said to me, Jerry, how could you stay so calm? Why weren't you cursing and yelling? And I said to the person, what good does that do? First off, it doesn't help the discussion. It doesn't promote understanding. It doesn't promote me learning. And also, we've been friends for 48 years. I don't see, we joke about being deplorable, a libertard. I see my friend Tim from high school and college and all the things we've been through, all the experiences we've been through. So we have disagreements. We talk through it. I want to learn. I want to get a better understanding. But yelling is like road rage. Doesn't do anybody any good. In fact, it does harm.
Yeah. And I do tend to look for lessons because I am open to that. I think that most people, sadly, are not open to the lesson. So frequently, right? So let's just say we were hanging out, on a Friday night, and people would think we're arguing, but I'm listening.
Right.
I'm listening.
Right.
Like you have information that I don't know.
Right.
I still might disagree.
Right. But if you're yelling and screaming, you're not listening, and listening is so important.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Because there is something there that you might learn, and it'll not that it, might not change your opinion, but it helps you understand the other person's perspective.
Okay, we're gonna go into the next beer.
Let's do it.
The next one is Samuel Adams Summer Ale, and good for today because today hit 98, I think, outside.
Yeah, I took a picture of my car. It said 100. I know it was in the car and it was in the sun, but it hit 100. So yeah, Summer Ale. I'm familiar with this beer. I'm familiar with this. A little bit of a lemon hint in here,
which is fine on a hot summer day. It's like lemonade.
Yeah, again, not a fan of fruit in my beer, but it's not bad.
Blueberry doesn't do it for me.
Oh. I would take this ale.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I have others I prefer.
If anybody has a cheeseburger handy, we'll take it, or a hot dog.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is we just put on commercials for healthy.
I know.
Healthy items. Our topic is make America healthy again, and we're sitting here drinking beer.
Balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah.
We left off talking about RFK Jr. and science.
Well, let me just go straight
go ahead.
So let me just go right to. So I'll make sure we hit as many of these as we can.
Yes.
We are going to run out of time.
We are.
I know.
Yes. Yes.
The argument that we frequently find ourselves in is that, and people, I'll just say people. I'm not going to say libertarians. Or just say people. You think that RFK Jr. is a quack, and they disagree. I have had conversations with people who absolutely do not believe that our food system is corrupt, who think that pharmaceutical world is perfectly fine. So really my question is, whether you do or don't believe in RFK, you do have to ask a simple question. It sort of leads to what you had said. Is the status quo okay? Are people today, people should not be dying in their 50s and 60s, not at the rate that they are. Obesity
is like 40% of the American population suffers from obesity.
And overweight, I think it hit 70%.
Wow.
So
wow.
Right. And you remember we were kids. I was the fat kid. Remember, I was the fat kid. I was probably 20 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing how different it is.
Yes.
So I really throw a different question.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you eliminated RFK, are you all okay with the status quo, the way things are?
And I agree. The status quo, and I'm all for addressing the status quo through healthy eating, healthy habits, more information for the consumer, and government regulation. And I know the deplorables don't like government regulation, but that is one of our only ways for the government, and the government in a democracy is us, right? So the government in a democracy should be the representation of the people, saying, I am the power that can push back against big business that's taking advantage of you and your temptation.
Let me be crystal clear. I'm not arguing with you on that, right? So if a business is doing harm to us, that is one of the but I will say one of the few roles of government. Do not harm your citizens.
Yes. And now sometimes it's black and white, right? And there's a lot of gray. And is bad food dyes in food harming the citizen? Is the big gulp, right? So Michael Bloomberg tried to regulate the big gulp because it's like 600 calories in one drink.
Yeah.
And big business pushed back. Government has no right to do that. But that the business takes advantage of people's sweet tooth.
Well, so.
But there was a line.
Yeah. So I have all these different topics I really want to hit. But so to your point, right? So Coca-Cola, I'm going to sound accusatory, and I don't mean it that way, but it's going to sound that way. Coca-Cola, like so many other companies, they want you addicted to their product.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
Yes.
And they will go out of their way to make you
advertise
and addicted to it.
Yeah. And lie about it. Tobacco. How long did tobacco lie about it?
All right. So can I jump ahead there?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. No, because you just brought it up. I'm jumping way to our conclusion at the end.
All right. Then we're going to come back. Go ahead.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
Did you know, because most people did not, I did not. Did you know that Philip Morris not only changed their name because Philip Morris had,
bad reputation
now with cigarettes. And oh my God, I can't think of the other one. Oh my God, a big company. Big cigarette company, doesn't matter. Big mega cigarette tobacco companies. Let's just say tobacco companies. After the rulings against them, where they had to pay an awful lot of money, and the warnings had to go on, and publicity against cigarette smoking became really kind of prominent. And I'm sure the numbers went down because
they have.
Yes. So what did they do? Because these are mega corporations.
Did they get into vaping? Is that go ahead?
No. Well, I'm sure they did that too.
Yeah.
But they bought the food companies.
Yep. Right.
Kraft food.
Yes.
Oh, damn it. I just saw all the information and I forgot. Kraft food.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say
it's another way for them to take their experience of giving people what they crave, which isn't necessarily good for them, and now they're doing it through the food.
And how can I get them addicted to this as cheaply as possible?
Yep.
So that to me is like now, because I'm not for government intervention or regulation, but I am in those kinds of instances.
There is a I think there's probably more instances you wouldn't want to have a steel smelter built next to your
No,
house.
no,
So
yeah.
or a pig farm. So
Yeah.
government is our way of having boundaries.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk
Okay,
about
go ahead,
boundaries.
go ahead,
I want to. I
yep,
want to
yep.
discuss the fact that corporations are in fact consciously
Yes.
poisoning
Yes.
the citizens
Yes.
of America
and spending oogles of money lobbying Congress or other government
Right.
officials to not pass laws that would protect the American people and in favor of the companies.
Right.
So the companies are buying off our politicians and buying businesses and selling us junk and
Yes.
not letting us know better.
Yes. So, I jumped so far ahead, I forgot how I was going to lead into that. So I'll just go back to the addictions
Yes, that's
part, and that the companies are very conscious about that. In Texas, now, I don't know if it was passed yet, right? And I love this stuff, so I research this stuff.
Okay.
In Texas, all right, let me backtrack here too. State government can do a lot of things up until it contradicts federal government.
The Constitution, correct?
Yeah. Or just the laws that the federal government has created.
Yes, generally, yes.
Yeah. So in Texas, there's only so much they can do about the food that is being sold in their state.
But of course, the state lines. Yeah.
Okay, but there's only so much they can do about the food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where it gets
Because
very
probably,
tricky.
I guess, over the years, FDA has developed the right to regulate food.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. So the state of Texas says, okay, I can't control what's in the package, but I can control the package. So other countries, and I'm going to just use the ones that I remember the most blatant, was the EU and Australia and New Zealand, right? They have laws prohibiting certain dyes, certain preservatives, certain colorants, a lot of different chemicals that are some of them are even natural, but they don't belong in our food. They've banned these things. It can't be done. Even my own company, right? Isogenics, even my own company, the restrictions in other countries are so much higher here. And we are a health and well-being company.
Yes.
And so worldwide, we abide by their ruls, not USA rules, because we sell the product there.
Right.
We make one product.
Right. I heard that about bread recently. That our bread would not pass muster in other countries.
Oh, I could tell you about bread too, because I watched a lot of shows on that.
So
now here's my point.
Yeah,
I'm finish this. I'm sorry. And I keep wasting time. So Texas decides that they can't control the food in the package, but they can control what the package says. And they say, if this company includes these ingredients in this product, there will be a warning on the package that it has been found, these ingredients, which are found in this product, have been found to cause cancer in the UK, in the EU, in New Zealand, in Australia. There's nothing they can do about what's in it, but they can't control what's on the package.
Right, which is good. Unfortunately, though, too many Americans probably may not follow those or read those warnings. So
100%.
Yes.
I was over at some friend's house before I came here. They were asking what tonight's topic was. So I explained to them. And do you know that the 20-year-old's like, yeah.
So I'm going to see, looking at the time, RFK Jr.
Yeah.
I think there's a fair amount on his agenda.
Yeah.
That we agree with. That to help America, we need to. I'm going to say focus on the environment, because clean air is important to healthy.
Yeah.
Good agriculture tactics, practices.
Yep.
Addressing big business and big corporations dominating certain industries and practices. But to make America healthy again, what concerns me, and I want to get to this in the last 15 minutes here, is some of the statements and approaches to, because everything else has been science-based. Some of the statements and approaches regarding vaccinations and the FDA. I'm concerned that that is not well supported by science, and I'm going to say peer-reviewed science, because what the hell do I know?
Yeah. All right. We do have to take another break, but I just want to say that you use usually when you're talking about things that I say or things that you disagree with, you tend to use the word anecdotal a lot.
Okay.
Right? Because you will say that this is science-based, this is facts, this is documented, and everything I say, you say is anecdotal.
Okay.
Now, but I will admit, I'm not reading those science papers.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm reading the people who read the science
Correct.
papers.
Well, same here. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we are going to take another break. We have one last segment. We are going to talk about vaccines because I think it's a little bit of a very hot topic.
Correct.
It's tough.
Yes.
There are lots of other things I want to talk about, but we're just going to run out of time. So, Bobby, if you could just take one more break, keep it short, and we'll wrap this up. Any more beer?
Yes.
Oh, we do have more beer. All right. It's interesting because, Jerry, that one of those commercials was about hair revival. And the only you need a serious.
You got to have it to revive it.
You need a real revival. But I will say this, and this was my very, very undeveloped 16-year-old brain.
Now we're back
then when we worked at McDonald's, right? The story's too deep to get into detail, but we didn't eat right. We ate mostly McDonald's.
Yes,
we ate a lot of chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
It was very, very bad. But because we worked at McDonald's, there's a lot of McDonald's available to us. So we ate a lot. I do remember at 16 and 17 years old, because I have a very, very thick head of hair, but you know that it was very thin at that time. And I didn't know, and my nails were always thin and cracking. I didn't understand until decades later what had happened. But that is, and I'm not blaming McDonald's. I'm just blaming very poor nutrition.
Well, again, balance. You can have it once in a while, but if you're going to have on 2 meals a day, 5 days a week, yes, that is not going to be good.
Yeah, if you want free lunch, you're going to go to the place that's going to give you free lunch because we work there. All right, so we're going to get into vaccines and government and FDA. But I just want to agree with you on one thing and give the viewers some very, very interesting statistics that are very, very, very real. So we talked about food in the 1950s versus today, right? So we're talking 75 years ago. Why in the 1950s was a piece of meat, some vegetables, and a starch, like a potato of some kind, a very healthy meal.
That's right.
Where today people say like, I'll just put it this way. I got to keep it as basic as possible. Mega farming, right? Once the farmer, the man and his wife and the 3 kids who ran the farm, once they sold to the corporations, and the corporations, all 3 of them, who make our food, when they took over, it was all about profit. How quickly
quantity versus quality.
Quantity versus quality. And how can I make it greener, redder, more yellow, whatever it is? Can I make it shinier, make it last longer on the shelf? Make it, how can I pick it as early as possible and make it look perfect in Stop and Shop
And get
and Whole
as much
Foods?
out of the 1 acre of land as possible.
So the other thing was the acreage, right? So they always used, I say they, my company, because they were very strong about this, right? So and the numbers are not real. It's just an example. Let's just say in 1950, you could get 20 bushels of spinach from an acre. I'm making up the number. Once science and corporations got involved, you could get 200 bushels of spinach from that same acre. But the nutrients, the value, the nutritional benefit of that spinach was cut by 100.
Right.
Looks the same. Actually, it looks better today. It lasts longer on the shelf, but it has no nutritional value.
Yes. Or
It's
much less when I read. Yes.
Much less.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say none.
Yeah.
Virtually so much less.
Yeah.
But it's still called spinach.
Yeah.
And we still think that salad with the spinach is good.
I know. I keep eating spinach and I don't look like Popeye.
No.
So I agree with you.
Go ahead. Let's get into vaccines. You want to start? Go ahead. You can start off with vaccines. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
What do we got here?
American Light.
Spinach beer.
Spinach beer.
Spinach beer. American Light. This is I have not had this.
It's a light beer.
And I will not have it again.
It loses some of the body. It's definitely it loses some taste. Yes. But less calories and less filling.
Not bad, just not what I would
You mentioned science. Science can show us how to engineer certain things. And science can teach us the cause and effect. And so you can generate 200 bushels where you got 20 in the past. The application of that science could be wrong. So it's science will tell you I could do 200 bushels, but I'm getting less for that.
And then, but they're not interested.
Right. And so the big business just takes that science and abuses the application in that situation.
Absolutely.
Right. So science can maybe go a step further and say, well, how can I balance those two things? And the company said, don't worry about balancing. I want just the bushels. I'm going to apply that to vaccination. And what you said about anecdotal. You don't know anything about science. I don't know anything about science. I say that safely because I know you. I would not know the statistical analysis and the chemical makeup of whatever. I think what is key then, and particularly beneficial in a democracy, in a free society, is the element of peer review.
Yeah.
It's not just the person who says, oh, this is this. It's other people can come along and say, oh, let me confirm that. And confirm that relationship exists. And then other people come along and say, okay, this is how we can use it. And then there's another person that says, wait a second, that could be causing damage and harm.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the science, it's the confirmation of that cause and effect, and then and the control.
I just want to stop you because I agree. And I learned peer review from Isogenics, I think, because they have to spend millions of dollars to create the study,
right,
and then send it out there.
Send out peer. You let other people just say, "Here's my results."
Third parties. And if you do it right,
yes,
because people will argue, "Oh, well, you paid for it." If you do it right, and I'm not going to use the right words. Certain things about peer review means that if the results go against you, it's still public.
Yeah. Still public.
Sorry, it's your risk.
That's right.
If you want this review, it's your risk.
It's the information is out there for all to see, and we are all stronger for that.
Yes.
My concern.
So I agree.
To me, and what I've read in various things, not the studies themselves, overall, vaccinations have proven in aggregate very beneficial to individuals' health. And for infant mortality, less measles, less polio. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I knew people who had polio as a kid. Nobody gets polio now if they're vaccinated. Does that mean that we can't go further? Certainly, we can see more. Does that mean there's no downside to vaccinations? No, that doesn't mean that. It means
and vice versa.
It means that the science I'm referring to indicate that there's less harm in that vaccination by taking the vaccination than there would be without taking the vaccination.
I'm going to reverse that.
Okay.
But only one instance.
Okay.
Or a couple of instances. When we were kids, did you get chickenpox?
I don't remember.
Okay, but did you get measles or mumps?
No, I got the shot.
When you were a kid, because it didn't exist.
I got it when I was in college.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So I do remember we were kids. If one of the neighborhood kids got chicken pox,
Right.
the neighbor's parents sent the kids to that house. Get the chicken pox, get it over with.
But measles is very different.
All right, so I was going to say,
Yeah, measles is not chicken pox.
no.
Yeah.
Let me just finish the thought though, because I'm still not disagreeing with you, right? So, well, I will inevitably.
Yes, you will.
Inevitably.
Otherwise, what?
Right. Measles, mumps, and chickenpox, rubella, right? So when we were kids, people got those diseases, and they were out of school for a week. Everybody hurt. Everybody got it. I only got the mumps. I never got the other two. But my, neighbors, relatives, friends, they all got one of them. I admit, particularly with measles, there is a risk that something could go very wrong. You could get sick.
Right.
Could be permanent. You could die. Very rare. Now they came out with the shot, MMR, and I remember because I had to take it. We had to take it to go on our senior trip in high school.
Right.
Tommy Jones had to forge my mother's signature because she wanted no part of it, and I already had the mumps. So now I'm taking a vaccination for something I already had. I'm already immune to it because it wasn't separatable then. My only point is, so which is the higher risk?
Right.
Oh, people are writing to us. Oh, look at that. People are writing to us. I can't read it from here. Well, I'm glad we have a viewer. Which one is the higher risk?
Someone wrote, I want to hate this, but I can't. It's just two dudes talking and drinking beers. We can disagree. You can agree with him or me, but we just ask.
We're good.
Think, listen, and maybe you'll take away. Maybe we each can learn from each other.
Right. You'll go talk to somebody. Something that one of us said.
Right.
You're going to say that asshole in the Islander jersey or the dude with the flag. They'll say something. I know they will because they hate one of us. Right.
But they shouldn't hate any.
I know,
of us.
but you know what it is. You know what happens. They hate one of us.
We don't need road rage. We can listen, talk.
All good.
And move ahead.
But here, so the question that I'm posing, and again, I don't know the answer to this. I'm just posing the question: which is more dangerous, getting the disease like we used to as kids, or getting the vaccination against it?
Right. So I can't quote everything, but what I can say is that from what I've read, for measles, 1 in 1,000 who got measles before the vaccination would come down with either I can't say the word.
Encephalitis. Oh, I didn't know.
Or pneumonia.
Okay.
And that could either be deadly to them or somebody else that they're familiar who's younger who couldn't get the shot or is compromised.
Yep.
Now, 1 in 300,000, let's say, may get an allergic reaction or a blood clot. So if you're that one person today who gets sick from the shot, you're gonna say, "Darn it, I shouldn't have gotten the shot." What we can't see, by particularly just looking at it individually, is who would have gotten sick if we didn't have the shot.
Yeah.
So when we look at, this is where the studies come in, and not my opinion. You have to, the individual information is very helpful, very important, very telling, and we all rely very heavily on it. But it's also critical to look at, and not easy to do, to look at the bigger picture. And I'm not saying that science is always right. Science gets things wrong.
Yeah.
When you look at the bigger picture, absolutely. The answer is to not go backwards. When car companies were making unsafe cars, we didn't say, that's it, I'm going back to horses.
Yeah.
We said, make a safer car.
No argument. I would never disagree with any of that stuff. Never.
Okay, we're done.
Call it anecdotal. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You can call it anecdotal. And I'd have to agree. I know we're going to have to wrap up, but when you look, this is not a conspiracy theory. It's it's nothing of the sort. It really, they could see this table here with all the beer. Looks like we really had an Independence Day party here with all the beer.
Most of the beer is still in the cup, by the way.
If you, though, when the conversation about autism and vaccinations comes up, I used to say that's ridiculous. I really believed it was absurd. Vaccinations are safe. We need them. I believed it. Anecdotally, why today is there so much evidence of autism?
So I would say
while there's so much more vaccination.
Anecdotal is a great way to start the discussion. Say, hey, wait a second, I noticed this. We got to look at this.
Yeah.
And you start with the anecdotal, you start with the observation, you start with the instinct, and you start with the question, and then you look at it. And you say, wait a second, is there a potential cause and effect? Is there something here that's causing it? I will say it with autism. I wonder, just based on other things happening at the same time, are there other things in the environment, such as forever chemicals and plastics that can be having the impact to autism. And if we just say no vaccination, because our gut says that, we could be doing two harms.
Yeah.
One is not finding the real solution. And
Yeah.
secondly, removing something that is not causing the problem from helping. But,
All right.
but
Go ahead,
but
yeah.
that may not, I'm just saying that could be, it requires the research to look at it to come to the right answer.
Okay. So anecdotally,
Mhm.
I'm not going to disagree with you because I really do not know. Where I do completely agree is that environmental issues are massive.
Absolutely.
Massive.
Absolutely.
And people talk about, I mean, there's so many things that people argue over today, and the climate, and it's a million things that people argue over. But it is true that, I'm just going to quote the founder of my company, ICGenics, right? He said 50 years ago, there'd be no need for our company. There'd be no need for our company. But if you look at today, and I'm feeding into what you're talking about, we are as toxic as we have ever been. We are toxic. Our bodies are toxic. Our blood is toxic. We breathe, touch, eat, drink toxicity all day long.
And I agree. I suspect I agree. I mean, I think that's correct. And I wonder more about the plastics as well as other things. All that said, as far as vaccinations, we should not do anything blindly. The government on our behalf, the experts in the government, should be protecting us. And yes, they will make mistakes. Companies make mistakes. The police make mistakes. We make them better and stronger. Not take it away. So we need to do better research and more research.
All right, we have to wrap it up. And because of the fact that I'm agreeing with you, I want to ask then, and we can't answer it. So I'm sorry, I'm throwing I'm throwing the bowling ball at you, and you cannot, you're going to get hit with it. Because I agree with him that these vaccines need to be tested, and all these things have to happen a certain way. And I don't believe that happened with COVID. I believe
COVID was very quick. COVID was very quick and a big challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a concern about that.
Till next time, we are two dudes arguing life over beer.
Over beer.
Cheers. Thank you, Bobby.
Take care. Thank you. See you next time.